Okay, so here we are, a new week. We're going to pick back up where we left off. Next up, I'm going to get the gas tank straps worked in here and get the gas tank put in. Let me go get the gas straps and see if they go in pretty good here first. So there's the gas tank straps in. I also cut a little bit of webbing off of a tie down to put in the bottom here, and then I just used some spray adhesive to hold that in. Just want to put something down so the tank's just not sitting there on the bare steel. So anyway, let me grab the tank now. We'll get that put in and get that bolted down. And there we got the gas tank all bolted in. I did do some work on this fuel cap here because these here cannot be bought anymore. So I do have a new float, and I did redo the top plastic cap on this then. Anyway, what I ended up doing is I bought this Sten's 125-260, and I ended up just cutting it apart and using the float for this, and then I used some Permatex form a gasket that's gas resistant, and then I just form a gasket this plastic cap onto the top of this gas gauge. So anyway, with that done, let's see, where do we want to go next? Tell you what, let's maybe get this air cleaner wrapped up. So we'll get the decals put on that, and then we'll get that put on, and then we'll go from there. So here we are back at the table for some decaling. So I have this here decal, which goes on the side, this one here, which will go on the top. We got this one set out because this goes on the gas tank. I forgot to put this one on, so when we take the air cleaner back down, we'll also take that one with us and get that put on the gas tank. So let's get this decaled up and then get back to the tractor. And then we have the air cleaner all put on, and I did do this decal here for the gas tank as well. So I think with those two done, well, let's see, I think now let's move up to this front end here. Let's get the grill screen put in next, and then I'll see about putting on the side accent pieces here. So let me round up the grill and the screws for it, and we'll get that put on. And before I get that grill on, I do have the little piece here that goes on the grill with the Simplicity logo. So let me get this decal on here, and then we'll get that on the grill, and then get the grill put in. So we have our Simplicity logo put into the grill. So now let's get the grill thrown on the tractor here. And so there we have the grill on. So next up, I'm going to grab the little side panels that go on that, and we'll get them put on next. So for lack of a better term, I'm going to call these just the grill uprights. So there they are bolted on now. So next up, let's see here. I guess let's get the headlight brackets. Let's get them bolted in. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, let's do that next, and then we'll move on to this front lower pulley here. So I'm over here on the drill press. What I want to try to do with these headlight mounts is one bolt on each side. I'd like to try to drill the center out here with just an 1/8 inch drill bit. That's enough to get a just a regular 16 gauge wire through to run the headlights. I think that'll kind of hide the wire, and then instead of having it just loop out underneath the headlight mount, could just kind of, well, like I say, feed through this bolt, and then that would kind of, I don't know, clean up the look a little bit. So anyway, I'm going to try to drill 2 bolts out. They're 1.5 inches long, so I have no idea if this is going to work out right, but I'm going to give it a try here just to see how it goes. And if nothing else, I'll just have to put them on the tractor without this setup the way I'm kind of envisioning it. So let me get these drilled, and we'll see how this turns out. So this is just to give an idea of what I was going to shoot for, and it's going to work out really good. But yeah, normally the wire for these would come across the hood here and then loop out, kind of out in space here, and loop up into your light. And like I say, I kind of just wanted to go with that, and that's just big enough where I can get my wire in and out of here. Got plenty of extra up here for when I join the two together. But yeah, so this is going to work out perfect. Yeah, and like I say, that'll just kind of keep that wire nice and tidy there. I don't worry about vibration. I've got it drilled just a 1/16 over the size of the wire here. So it is just enough to slide through here, but I don't think it'll ever wear the jacket off with the vibration, just because of the simple fact there's not a whole lot of room in there, and it's not like this thing's going to see a ton of use. So anyway, there's that one. Let me go get the other one drilled out and get that mounted. And then we'll go through some odds and ends that I have found here that I forgot to put on along the way. So there we have our two headlight brackets on. So real quick, as I was going through, I forgot to put the lift arm on the rock shaft here, so let me go grab that and we'll get that put on real quick. So there we have our lift arm on the rock shaft. Kind of starting to get down there where it might be almost time to start throwing some side panels on. I still got one wire to run up here for this. Oh, I didn't record this, but I did put 2 new battery cables on here. The old ones were getting pretty rough, so just threw these on. Anyway, we got to run one more wire yet for the headlights and get them tied together up here. I think what I'm going to do now is maybe try to get this here wrapped up. We'll get the pulley on there and the keepers for the belt bolted into that bottom bolt there, and then we'll have the front end of this all wrapped up. So let me go grab that pulley. There's our front pulley put on, so let's go ahead and throw them keepers on real quick. And so there is the belt keepers put on for the front pulley. I think next, let's get this wiring run for the headlights. We'll get these brought together to a splice connector, and then we'll run that, get that taped up, and run that back over here into the switch. So let me grab some wire and some connectors and get that done. So there we have the connector here on our headlights, and then I've got that taped up into the harness. So next up, I think we'll move on to, maybe a side panel. See about getting this side panel put on. I guess, or I could come over here. I do need to run the gas line over here yet too. So there's still a few things. Let me figure out what I want to do, and we'll get going to it. And we're back at the table again for some more decaling. So I'm going to get the 2 side decals on these here side panels, and then we'll get these down to the tractor and probably get both of them put on, because I don't see why they can't go on. What I have to do yet shouldn't matter. So we'll get them decaled and get them put on right away. And so there we have the side panels on. So this thing is starting to look pretty sharp. I ignore the lights for right now. There's some LED lights that came with that 2210 that I picked up. I just put them on here just for the time being. Anyway, yeah, so that looks pretty good. So next up, let's see here. Let's get the battery thrown in. We can do that much. And then probably get the hood put on here, I think. Unless there's something else that I can think of, we should be pretty much to putting the hood on. So I'm going to get the battery dropped in here, and then we'll see about getting the hood on. And then the last thing that I'll probably be doing on this will be getting the right headlights put on here. So anyway, I'm going to put the battery in here and then see about getting that hood put on. So there's the battery put in. I'm going to end up getting a little bit of wire loom and putting over this positive here, where it just sits kind of over the top of this negative end where it sits here on the firewall, just to protect it from any rubbing. I do remember I do have to put on some felt pads, I believe, here and on the 2 corners back here on the steering tower for the hood to sit on. Don't exactly know what I'm going to use for that yet, but before I do anything with the hood, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for felt pads. So let me get this figured out, and I still need to get this bolted in, and let me get that bolted in as well, and then we'll move on to the hood. Okay, so before I get the hood put on, I'm going to get this gas line run. So we got to come from right up here underneath the tank, and we got to come over here to the carburetor right here. So figure out what I'm going to do here for a loop. So let me figure out what I'm going to do there and get the gas line in. And there we have our fuel line in. Quick note on these older Briggs, they usually generally run a little bit better on just these small screen filters versus the little clear cartridge style fuel filters. So generally speaking, the other ones will work, but these here are the preferred ones. So anyway, with that done, let's go get the hood decaled, and then we can get the hood set on here. And so here we are back at the table. This is probably going to be one of the toughest decals that I have to do. We got to get it lined up, centered on the hood, and then it also has to wrap just around the front and back edge on each side. So I think that will be a bit of a challenge. But anyway, I'll do the best I can on this, and then we'll get it back on the tractor. So this is what I'm going to use for my 3 contact points. I just found some felt pads at Walmart. So I'm going to put one on each side here on the steering tower, and then this one here in this center brace. There's our hood. Not fun to decal. That took way longer than I had expected, but to get that thing perfectly centered on that hood, that was some time. Anyway, let me get some adhesive on these little felt pads and get them put on here real quick. Real quick, while I have my spray adhesive out from putting the felt on for them hood spots, I do have the original rubber pads, so I'm going to use the spray adhesive. I'll get those put on here real quick as long as I've got that out. So let me get these put on here as well before we go back to the hood. And so there we got the pads on the footrest. So the one side's a little bit nicer than the other, but got to take what you can get. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for me for the week here. We'll pick back up next week, try to get the hood wrapped up, get these new lights off here and get the right lights put on the front end here, and maybe even see about getting it started up. So anyway, go ahead and give a subscribe if you want to follow along and see this thing now that we're almost to the end. And with that, I will catch you next week.